Welcome to the training flight on air-to-air refueling. I've engaged the autopilot to keep us level and on course. Adjust the throttle to maintain an airspeed around 325 knots. Air-to-air refueling is difficult, and since Georgia is a small country, you might never need it. However, if you'd like to learn how, this mission will cover the basics. It'll take a lot of practice, possibly hours, so don't expect to nail it the first time. We'll first rendezvous with the tanker, matching its speed and altitude. The tanker will lower a refueling boom. Your task will then be to fly straight and level in close formation with the tanker, and the tanker will guide the boom into the refueling slot in your upper left fuselage. Press the spacebar to continue. First, you want to add curvature to your joystick axes if you haven't already. This will make very fine adjustments easier. Values of 20 for pitch and roll are good starting points, although you should experiment and see what works best for you. You can do this by pressing Escape, choosing Adjust Controls, clicking the Axis Assign button, clicking the relevant joystick axis, and clicking Axis Tune. If you don't know exactly, press A to disengage your autopilot and start flying towards the tanker, but keep your distance for now. When you're within 15 miles, which you should be at present, radio the tanker to request join-up by opening the communication menu with \. Press F6 to choose tanker, then press F1 to radio your intent to refuel. Pay attention to the response. The tanker will tell you their indicated airspeed and altitude. You can press \/ again to close the communication menu when you're finished. Press the spacebar when you've done this.
Mexico, 1-1. In field, 1-1. Request rejoin.
After you've radioed your intent to join up, you can switch your steering mode from nav to TCN, meaning TACAN or Tactical Air Navigation, which will give you the range to your tanker. Do this now by pressing left Control R. In the bottom right of the HUD, nav changed to TCN, and the number below this after the T is the range to the tanker in miles. The remaining navigation information on the HUD and HSI still applies to your current waypoint. The left Control R command that activated TACAN mode also opened your refueling door, which is indicated by the green ready light on your canopy frame. Next, you'll generally want to get a radar lock on the tanker to help guide you in. Turn your radar on by pressing I, activate a radar mode of your choice. For example, pressing 4 will activate boresight auto acquisition mode, and lock up the tanker. This isn't necessary when you have good visibility, but can help you get a feel for things. Press the spacebar once you have a radar lock.
Shoot. Shoot.
The tanker told you to proceed to the pre-contact position, which is 50 feet behind and just below its refueling boom. First, start approaching the tanker from 1,000 feet below their altitude, which they told you over the radio. So climb or descend to that altitude now. Close in on the tanker at a closure speed of about 100 knots. You can see the closure speed directly in your VSD, or approximate it by comparing your indicated airspeed to the speed the tanker radioed to you. This is approximate because closure rate is calculated from true, not indicated airspeed. As you approach 1 mile distance, throttle back to slow your closure rate to about 60 knots. When you're about 1 mile away, begin a gentle climb so you arrive at 50 feet below the tanker at half a mile. Adjust your throttle so your closure rate is only about 30 knots when you get half a mile away. Remember that the aircraft takes time to react to throttle inputs, so start adjusting well in advance. You're now about half a mile away and should be closing at about 30 knots. Gently lower your throttle to drop your closure rate to 10 knots at 0.2 miles and only a couple knots at 0.1 mile. For precise speed control, use tiny throttle adjustments and wait for them to take effect. Avoid the speed brake. Err on the side of low speed. It's harder to recover if you overshoot and can no longer see the tanker. As you approach, line up your nose with the base of the tanker's right wing and just under the boom's altitude. Pull up to the pre-contact position, which is 50 feet, roughly 1 F-15 length, behind and slightly below the boom, and try to stabilize there. Remember that putting the velocity vector on the horizon will result in steady altitude. Use very small, smooth stick inputs to very slowly adjust your pitch and roll. Don't rush things. It's okay if you do this very slowly. When you're about 50 feet behind the boom and steady, open the communication menu / and declare Ready Pre-Contact. When you get clearance to contact, press the spacebar.
Ready pre-contact. Cleared contact.
Slowly advance to contact position, which is just past the boom since the refueling door is behind your cockpit. Don't concentrate on the boom, it will be behind you. Concentrate on the tanker. Stay calm and cool. If you start flailing around wildly, back off the throttle, stabilize in pre-contact position and try again. It will take practice, so be patient. When you are in contact position, you will be able to just see the director lights under the tanker's front fuselage. The lights illustrate your position relative to optimal. The left strip is altitude. If the rear red light, highest in your view, is lit, you're too high, and the front red light, lowest in your view, means you're too low. The green middle light is optimal. The right strip indicates your fore-aft position. The forward red light means you're too far forward, etc. The picture in your briefing shows an example. If the tanker calls return pre-contact, return to the pre-contact position and radio ready pre-contact again if necessary. Contact! The ready light on your canopy frame will turn off when the boom is connected and will light back up if you disconnect.
Contact. Return pre-contact. Contact. You're taking fuel. Contact. You're taking fuel. Contact. Return pre-contact. Contact. You're taking fuel. Contact. You're taking fuel. Contact. You're taking fuel. Contact. You're taking fuel. Contact. You're taking fuel.
Eject.